Dancing in a gentle breeze on Confederation Hill, there's nothing today about the provincial flag to suggest the furor raised at its birth 10 years ago. Its unveiling on April 29, 1980, unleashed a flood of criticism that spilled from the floor of the House to homes from one end of the province to the other. It began innocently enough. A legislative committee comprised of 4 PCs and 3 Liberals was struck to travel the province soliciting ideas.
I don't have any preconceived ideas, so the flag that we'll come up with will, as far as I'm able to do it, will be a composition of everyone's ideas, or looking at everyone's ideas first, and then the entire committee, with the House of Assembly, will try and put together an acceptable design.
The committee received more than 600 submissions, none of which the committee deemed suitable. Enter Christopher Pratt. With 6 weeks to government's deadline, the prominent Newfoundland artist was asked to sketch a few designs. He agreed on 3 conditions. 1, that he not be paid. 2, that the committee feel free to reject his work. And 3, that if they did accept a design, they not change it. 6 weeks later, Pratt showed them what he'd done.
So I had 5 or 7 or whatever of these designs laid out right here, and they had the freedom of my studio, of course. And all 7 committee members were here, the 4 Conservatives and 3 Liberals. And I went out and wandered around on the lawn. And eventually, like the smoke going up when a pope was elected, I got the signal that something had happened, and I came in the living room, and they had the design there. And they all liked it.
His job complete, Pratt attended the unveiling a few days later. But this was just the beginning. For nearly a month, through first, second, and third readings of the controversial flag bill, a bitter debate was waged here in the House of Assembly. Inspired by war veterans and monarchists in the public galleries, opponents of the flag, mostly from the Liberal opposition benches, systematically savaged it, its design, the process, even the artist, while government members systematically defended it. It was symbolic of Newfoundland. It didn't represent the province at all. It didn't have enough of Britain. It didn't have enough of Ireland. It was an atrocity. It was a source of pride. It was the best thing ever to happen to Newfoundland. It was the worst.
I really wasn't expecting that one of the parties would make it a cause célèbre and dump on it. You know, I really didn't expect that.
And dump on it they did. A few of the more colorful comments recorded in Hansard. Bill Rowe. Unsettling, unsatisfying, jarring, aesthetically displeasing, corny and cliched, flashy, almost sinister, both empty and cluttered. Graham Flight. Not distinctive, not representative, a flag befitting a third-ranked nation. Les Toms, a member of the Legislative Committee, who later changed his mind and voted against the flag. With all due respect, Mr. Speaker, the flag does lend itself to obscenities, and the thing that lends itself to the obscenities is this golden arrow. Steve Neary, a flag must convey feeling and warmth. How could you ever think about laying down your life for a bunch of triangles? And Garfield Warren, when athletes carry it, they will be marching forward, but the arrow will be pointing backward. I believe the flag is either upside down or inside out.
I have never felt the same way about people in elected office since that experience. There was a sort of a pre-flag naivety on my part that I will never own again.
Outside the House, it was even worse. Open line shows had a field day, and comments ran unbridled. The flag should be used as toilet tissue or sunk off the Grand Banks. As for Christopher Pratt, one caller said he should, quite simply, be shot.
It really got pretty low, and I realized that, or at least I felt that the negative thing was so excessive that really all I had to do was keep my mouth shut, which I find very hard at the best of times.
The loudest objections of all came from the Royal Canadian Legion, war veterans passionately attached to the British Union Jack. They wanted the Union Jack clearly retained on the new flag, and they went to war once again, appearing daily in the House of Assembly, lobbying government with petitions, advertising in local newspapers.
The flag served us well. The Union Jack served us well, really. Why throw out something That's working.
What they didn't know was that the Union Jack never did have a chance. Pratt says the committee made it clear they wanted to avoid the British flag.
There was absolutely no question about that in the world. There was not one member of the committee who said to me, well, you know, the Union Jack has got to be in the flag. When I asked the question, the strongest response I got was, well, I can take it or leave it, but really it doesn't matter to me. And there were other people who were absolutely, totally against the idea of having the Union Jack. And when all the flack about the Union Jack started, I don't think anybody stood up in the House and said, now wait a minute, we told the designer, we told the artist we didn't want the Union Jack. You know, nobody said that. I was sort of allowed to take all that onto myself.
But the flag furor wasn't without its funny side.
My mother went to an Irving station and the flag was flying, and she rolled down her window and the gas attendant came over and she said to him very proudly, she said, I see you've got my son's flag up. And he looked at her and he said, oh, you must be Mrs. Peckford.
In many ways, it was Brian Peckford's flag. It was Peckford who wanted a new flag in the first place, Peckford who introduced Bill 44 in the House of Assembly. And if the artist was unprepared for the reaction, the politician was braced for the worst.
To be honest with you, I figured there was going to be a big kerfuffle about it, and I was ready to take it on the chin.
And not just from the opposition benches. It was, Peckford says today, one of the few issues in his 10-year reign that divided his caucus. And he says he was inundated with letters, accosted in the street, and warned by a former premier.
Mr. Smallwood came to see me at one point and told me I was, well, essentially told me I was crazy. He told me that you are crazy in the sense that this is a bad political move and that you shouldn't do it, and the Legion and some of the churches and so on will bring you down and you will never get elected in Newfoundland again. And I thanked him for his advice, which was freely given and voluntarily given by him. But I just said to him, I said, no, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Smallwood, I understand what you're saying, but we have to do something distinctive, and I think the time is ripe to do it, and I think I'm the person that should do it.
And he did. The flag became law May 28, 1980, and was raised on Confederation Hill a month later. As committee chairman John Carter recalled, someone liked it.
Oh, it was stolen. It was stolen from the in front of the Confederation building, and we didn't know whether to be, you know, sad or happy.
Within a very short time, the furor died down, and as some government members had predicted, it was accepted, even by the Royal Canadian Legion. And how do those most vocal in 1980 feel in 1990?
It was going to be accepted. That was the feeling, yeah. We've lost. And now we've got to get on with it, you know, and accept it in good faith, which we did.
Empty and cluttered, that was probably a bit extravagant, but my views haven't changed all that much. I think I've just mellowed about it now and don't really care about it.
When I go to provincial, federal meetings now, and the flag is always present, as I say, I'm very proud of the fact that it's, the Newfoundland flag is there. But I wish, I really do, that the flag was more representative or more symbolic and some indicator of our past.
There isn't any doubt whose flag that is. And you might get confused between Ontario or BC, but you will not be confused with Newfoundland's flag.
And how about public sentiment 10 years later?
Don't think much of it. Never did.
I think it's respectable and it's good looking, and basically it serves a purpose, I guess.
Well, I think it's all right now. It's like everything else. It grows on you and you get used to it.
Oh, we got a great flag. Best in the world.
Do you know who designed it?
No, but I wish I did.
First half, I thought it was different, very different. And when they explained that the gold and the sea and the oil and all that was the symbol, and I guess they just after growing on it since then. Although the oil hasn't come to very much and the fish is gone.
But the flag remains a symbol for Newfoundlanders, a testimony to a politician's persistence and an artist's thick skin.
Well, I'd say thank God I don't have to do it for a living.
So any final thoughts or words on this, the 10th anniversary? It's probably the last time we'll address this issue.
Really, it's a kind of thankless task. I'd never do it again without being paid.
That's right. You're going to take all the flack, right?
You're going to take the flack, you might as well take the finance.
For Here and Now, I'm Deborah Collins.